What were your greatest worries in the earliest stages of treatment? Back when you were on Vancouver Island shortly after the
Well,
first
I was
hospital?
really worried that he'd have another break. Just before his first break, or while he was having it, he disappeared for 24 hours. And that's 24 hours I don't ever want to go through again. They found him on the side of the freeway, took him in, they called an ambulance and took him in. So I was really afraid another break would happen. And it didn't, but that was my biggest fear. And then it was looking down the road. You can't help it. You hear about these families with that mentally ill person living in the basement. And that was the picture I had. I wasn't educated yet.
Right.
And I thought it was permanent. I didn't realize that if you're schizophrenic, you can recover. And so once I started reading, I read as fast as I could. I educated myself. I could have joined support groups. I didn't. I just couldn't. I didn't have the time and whatnot, but I could have. And I probably would have picked up a lot of help and support and information there too.
So how did you get your education as you refer to it?
Reading and talking to the professionals, which to some extent could be confusing, but because you'd get different information, different outcomes, different outlooks. But looking back, I realized that every brain is different. Every recovery is different. And so, yeah, there's a lot of different
Variables.
Yeah, there is. There is. Yeah.
Do you remember the first time that you felt hopeful?
Well, I think probably about a year into it, I began to see him not so fearful, processing in a better way. I got him talking too. We talked. We talked to everybody. Like there was no hiding this. I wasn't going to be like, we weren't going to hide this. And I think he was a little uncomfortable at first. He didn't want that label on him. But we found out the more we talked and the more people we talked to, the more people we found out had had similar experiences or somebody in the family had had it. It's amazing. My husband and I did a lot of traveling. And in those travels, I just openly talked to people, hundreds of people over over the 2-3 years. And it's amazing how many people have had similar experiences. I learned an awful lot from them, picked up tips, and it was comforting. And I made sure that when I got home, I let Michael know all those stories that I heard. And so